In this video, I want to bust the biggest myth about ME, CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID and related conditions. Some people say to me, you can't recover from these conditions. Someone said this to me recently, and I'm not making this video to embarrass or shame them, but to challenge this kind of thinking, because I think that kind of thinking is detrimental to anyone who thinks it, and I'm going to explain why. My name is Pimenta. I had ME, CFS and fibromyalgia for 8-9 years. At one point I couldn't walk for 1 minute, and I got back to working full-time, living my life again, doing sport, living an active life. I did get an injury a while back, slowed me down a bit, but life is still great. In fact, I'm making this video now instead of doing a live session on Thursday because I'm going on holiday to Cyprus, going for someone's significant birthday. As I say, I go live usually every Thursday. If you'd like to join me on one of those live videos, do subscribe and you'll be notified if you hit the notification button. So, people say that ME, CFS organisations say that there's no cure, and therefore they come to the conclusion that you can't recover from ME, CFS, fibromyalgia, long COVID. I would say that is a problematic conclusion that is going to cause you problems. Why? Well, firstly, some people have fully recovered from those conditions. If you don't believe me, Google ME, CFS recovery, long COVID recovery stories. Check out some of the stories on my channel. So doctors of people I've worked with have confirmed that they fully recovered from ME, CFS, etc. I got to know 2 doctors in Norway who contacted me and said, I want to meet you because you've worked with my patients and they've got better, and I want to know more about what you're doing. They actually came and observed me do the training, and they actually trained to become practitioners of the approach that I was using at the time. So there is this big misunderstanding about recovery. Now, it may be fair to say that these ME, CFS organisations that are saying there's no cure, what they mean is there's no known cure-all for these conditions that is backed up by research. Now, given that some people have recovered, what this means is the mechanisms of recovery are not yet fully understood by these researchers who inform these ME, CFS organisations, long COVID organisations. Of course, some people say if a person recovered, they didn't have the condition. Now, these people who recovered fulfilled the criteria for ME, CFS, long COVID. Secondly, the people saying that they didn't have the condition are not qualified to say that. They don't know these people. They're not a doctor. 3, their conclusion is based on the erroneous belief that recovery is possible because these organisations say we don't know what the cure is. Okay? In fact, some approaches have been studied. For example, the Gupta program. I'll pop the link below. Now, it is a small study and much larger studies are needed, but it does illustrate that people do respond to certain approaches. For example, approaches known as brain training, but that's not the only methodology that can be helpful to people. I have trained in something called the Mind-Body Reconnect, and I am doing my case studies at the moment, and the people I'm working with absolutely love what they're learning and are finding it super helpful. Of course, some of them are still a work in progress, but some of the people I've been working with are saying, I feel better, I have more energy. Some of these people are people who've had the condition long term. Consider the condition scurvy. There was a time in history when there wasn't a known cure for scurvy. That doesn't mean there wasn't a cure. There was a cure. It's just that some people didn't know about it. It was vitamin C. There is evidence that some people knew that vitamin C was a cure as far back as the 11th century. I read that at one point sailors were instructed to eat raw onions because of the vitamin C to prevent scurvy. But sailors were understandably resistant to eating raw onions because raw onions are pretty horrible, and they were flogged if they refused to eat them. Later on, sailors were directed to consume the juice from citrus fruits, lemons, oranges, limes, etc. In the 19th century in the UK, every seagoing vessel was required to carry lemon or lime juice by virtue of the Merchant Shipping Act as a protection against scurvy when it wasn't practical to carry fruits and vegetables because the journeys were long. This resulted in a Scottish man, Lachlan Rose, devising a method for preserving juice, and a form of this is still on sale today in the UK called Rose's lime juice. Just to be clear, I'm not suggesting that there is currently 100% cast iron cure for ME, CFS, long COVID, fibromyalgia. What I'm saying is that people do recover and we need to understand the mechanisms. The problem is that probably many ME organisations, doctors and researchers look at ME/CFS from a medical model perspective and don't have much understanding of the mind-body connection. The mind-body connection is hugely important, and our understanding of it is evolving due to research. And what that research shows is the way we respond to our emotions, sensations, symptoms, the way we think and the beliefs that we have, the way we feel as the result of the thoughts that we have, the way we behave, the way we live, i.e. our lifestyle, the habits we reinforce, all have an impact on our health. I talk about the mind-body connection in the video Reasons for Hope. If you'd like to watch that video, click the link below, or if you're not watching on YouTube, comment video below and I will share the link. Actually, comment hope, then I'll know what you're talking about. But just to give you a taste of the mind-body connection, I got sick for a variety of reasons, including the fact that I had a stressful job that I shouldn't have done. Now, the job was stressful because of the way I was thinking, all right? Not everyone doing that job would have found it stressful, but there were aspects of my personality and makeup that meant it was stressful. For example, I was a worrier. I worried what people thought. If I worried less about what people thought, then I wouldn't have experienced so much stress. I actually was a manager of a charitable trust supporting men with histories of homelessness and mental health issues. But being a manager wasn't my forte. What I really enjoyed is working with the clients. I trained as a counsellor and I found that work really interesting, and that's kind of the work I do now, working with people, helping them understand the mind-body connection. I also tended to burn the candle at both ends. I was a people pleaser and I wasn't good at dealing with my emotions. For example, when I was upset, I would do things to distract myself, which actually just depleted my energy further. For example, I'd watch some action movie that just overstimulated me when I actually needed to calm down. That was especially an issue when I had ME/CFS, because all that excitement and stimulation would just drain me because my body was very sensitive. So all these things in combination resulted in me getting sick with ME/CFS and fibromyalgia. And once I was sick, my body was dealing with an additional stress, having an ongoing health issue. And all these stresses kept me sick. Research says that stress makes it more likely that we get diseases that make us sick, and stress can also keep us sick if we have a health challenge. So addressing the stressors have really helped me and others recover or make progress. So I encourage you to embrace the belief that recovery is possible. And we know it's possible. As I've said, other people have recovered. And you are just as smart and capable as they are. You are just as capable of learning what they learned and applying that learning. If a person believes that recovery isn't possible, then the implications of this may be as follows. Number one, they are holding a belief that is wrong. Okay? Because they have their belief, They may be missing opportunities to support their body's healing. I suspect they have a limited understanding of the mind-body connection. And an understanding of the mind-body connection may help them heal. If they have that belief that they can't recover, that's going to make them stressed and despondent. And this will literally make it more difficult for the body to heal, as I've already said. And they're less likely to take the steps that may help their body heal, including exploring strategies to reduce their stresses if they recognise stress is an issue. So I really encourage you to embrace the notion that stress can make it more difficult to heal. That's the first thing. I encourage you to explore the mind-body connection so you can understand it better and understand how our mind can influence our body and how our body can influence our mind. Number 3, explore what you can do to influence your health and well-being. I would suggest that if a person believes that recovery is possible and has that understanding of the mind-body connection, they are more likely to take steps to reduce the stresses and to explore how they can influence their healing. Pretty much every week I speak to clients, I hear them saying, I'm making progress. I believe that this is because they are addressing their stresses. I share lots of free information on my YouTube channel to help you explore these issues further. There's no charge for this information, it's completely free. And I share information that I know I would have found helpful when I had ME, CFS and fibromyalgia. If you want to check out the different playlists, I will put the link to the playlists below. I've made videos on various topics, including approaching movement in a sustainable way, playlists on energy, dealing with anxiety. I've also created a short video series called Solving the ME, CFS Recovery, and this applies also to long COVID fibromyalgia. Link below this video. I've worked with lots of people who recognise that addressing their stress was an important piece of the jigsaw. As I say, if it's not an important piece for you, that's fine. I hope you find solutions that work for you. But I know that for some people, addressing the stress is important because they've told me, and I was one of those people. So if that resonates with you, I have created a video recently called How to Teach Your Brain That You're Safe. And in that video, I explore how you can teach your brain that you are safe to support healing. So if you watch videos, one caveat, you don't have to agree with anything that I share, okay? Tap into your own wisdom, use your judgment. Feel free to disagree with me. I'm happy to have a discussion. I'm happy to listen to your point of view. I'm completely open to changing my mind. I'm okay about saying you're right, I'm wrong. I'm not interested in who is right. I don't care. I'm interested in what is right. So if you do apply what I share, make sure you do it in a way that works for you. If you'd like to explore these topics further, check out my channel, subscribe, hit the notification button. You'll be notified when I release more content. As I say, if you'd like to join me live, I go live on a Thursday at 4:30 p.m, currently British summertime. Now, if you want more help now, then you are welcome to have a free half-hour session. I do 3 every week, or I offer 3 every week. There's no obligation to be a client. I'm not going to be selling anything, but I'm going to help you identify 3 strategies to help you move forward and help you have a better understanding of what might be getting in the way of your healing and recovery. If you are interested in working with me, again, we can have a free conversation and explore what you need. If either of those 2 options appeal to you, just comment the word chat below and I will share a link where you can book a time to have a chat. If you've got any questions, pop them in the chat or get in touch. I'd love to know what your takeaway is from this video and what action you're going to take. For now, keep going. You've got this. Dare to dream. Don't give up on your dreams. Wishing you great health. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye for now.